of El Salon, the Chronicles. Oye, ladies of El Salon, the Chronicles.
Wow. Well, that's actually a good segue into our topic today, because we're here with Ronnie and we're talking about the Me Too movement, which is taking on a life of its own. And, you know, we're sitting here, we're good friends with Ronnie, and we're joking, and he feels very comfortable spanking and touching and all that, and we're great with it because
talking about that.
talking about it, right?
Yeah.
But
We sounds like a lot.
But
So you're not comfortable with it because you're the one that's talking
Spanking?
about
Semilla,
what the
money.
creepy
semillas.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm
Backyard.
referencing
She
is
was
that
talking about getting beat up.
no, I'm not getting beat up. We're talking about nice spanking, just the good stuff. But what I'm saying is that sitting there, you know, Ronnie is feeling comfortable having these conversations with us. In other circles, some people may feel offended. Now, we have opened the door. We're talking about semilla and all that, which I'm not trying to speak for you, Ronnie, but if I were a man, and people have said to me that I do have a little bit of testosterone, but I would say, okay, so I can have this conversation. This group of women is comfortable with it.
I was talking about an avocado. I don't know what he was thinking. I'm talking about the avocado in my yard. It's called in Spanish la semilla
Pero when
dominicana.
you said semilla,
Sí, porque fue una semilla dominicana que yo sembré.
Cuando dice semilla,
I like the movement of the mouth. I like it again.
Exactamente. So all these subliminal messages that we're getting are saying it's okay to have this conversation. So the question then is, as a man, when do you know that it's okay? You're a very jovial individual, you're very happy and just go lucky, and I think that you're a very respectful man, but you're also a very nice, personable individual. When do you know that you have the permission to go to the other side or move forward, or let me back off because this joke might not be well received?
So, answering as a guy, I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's
like 5 questions all in one.
Yeah,
so sorry.
it is. But I mean, I think that number one, that's definitely case by case basis. People don't always have those breaks. Like guys sometimes don't have those breaks. They don't have that. I guess I want to say home training. I grew up around a lot of females in my family. I have thousands of cousins, females, and I'm like, you know, you have to kind of develop that through the years as you're growing up. You see, you know, you hear the stories about what they've been through, what they go through, and you develop your own. Every person doesn't have that. Every person doesn't get to the point where you understand that there should be a limit, or you should be recognizing certain signs. Because I mean, depending on where you're at as well. You know, you're in this function, you're at a job, you should know where know your place.
Social setting.
Yeah, your social setting, exactly. You need to know your place. And some people don't have that kind of dividing factor of, you know, knowing how to turn one thing off and turning the other thing on depending on where they're at.
But what about just walking down the street? So we've all been exposed to this, all the 4 of us here. Walking, I remember being a teenager, walking to St. Rosa Lima, to my grammar school, so not even a teenager, walking to 6th, 7th grade. Coño, mami, esa farda tan bonita, eso es tuyo, coño, because...
These are grown men, by the way.
Right, and so because I have
old enough to be your grandparent.
I have a back end on me that God bless, a tush, esa es rabo, and I was born with it, okay, but what happened to me was there was a period of time where I was ashamed of having a big ass, or legs, or being shapely.
I've heard that so many times. It's crazy.
Because the comments were so nasty and derogatory. And so, why is that okay? Or where is that ever okay?
So what you said was key, because you know you're walking to school and you're walking. This is back in the days where you're in a Spanish neighborhood. These guys, most of them were from where?
El barrio
Santo Domingo.
Exactly, and you know there was that kind of definitely wasn't instilled into them that, you know, you need to respect, you need to do this, and you come here and you're here, there, anywhere. They could be back home. But you don't have that capacity to understand that, you know, there's a limit that you should respect to a certain point. Because if you come from the hood, you weren't probably raised with the best of values, and people weren't really showing you. You know, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna say 100%. But I'm saying.
You know, we were raised in Washington Heights. That's that was like the hood, and we were taught. You know, it's called education.
Of course, exactly. But I mean to in a general sense of where you're giving an education from the home.
Right.
So when you're being brought up with by uneducated parents, that have double standards as to what a female is and a male, and what the allowances are for a male. That's where you get people that behave in that way. Right. When parents don't teach their children from the beginning that she is a woman and she is a human being as well, and you must respect her.
No matter what kind of junk, no matter what kind of junk in the trunk.
Yes, because you know what? I got checked by my son for. I guess it was, you can call it reverse sexism.
You were catcalling?
No, I wasn't catcalling, but
I do that to Brad Pitt all the time.
My son checked. Let me see what you're working with. No, so my son was talking about this rapper, the Baby, I think, or something like that. And he just they were showing me on World Star how some guy went to like try to beat him up, and the guy was recording, and he was like, oh, trying to taunt him and whatever, and then he was like, oh, you want to fight? And he just took the phone away from the guy, beat the pants out of the guy, and then recorded the guy with his own phone, and while the guy's on the floor, whatever. So I'm watching this, and he's like, this is crazy. My son is telling me, like, this is like, oh my God, he has so many viral moments. And I was like, well, what do you mean viral moments? He's like, oh yeah, he was like, one time he spit on a girl and whatever. And I was like, he spit on a girl? And he's like, yeah, he spit on a girl. And I said, well, why is that viral? Why would he do that? And he goes, well, she put her hands down his pants or something while he was performing, or she grabbed him while he was performing. And I was like just like real quick, like I didn't even think it through. I said, oh, he got mad at her for what's been done to women for a long time. And he goes, that's not right. And I was like, what?
Yeah, but let's back up a second. Spitting is very nasty.
I know. I didn't think that was good. But what I'm talking about is my son.
I know.
So then he said, and he goes, that's wrong. And he goes, that shouldn't have been your response. And I said, well, what do you mean? I was just making a point, an observation. Yeah, but you're observing, you're making it so that what she did is right. And that's a double standard. Yeah. And I said, well, I'm just stating the obvious that this has been done to women. Yeah, no. He's a human being, and if you want respect, why is she allowed to And I was just like, damn.
Well, he's right. Good for him.
He just shut me down. And in a way, I was like, you know what? I'm right, because now I'm doing the reverse. It's like, oh, you mad, yours have done this to us. You mad, you can't get mad. Not treating it like, it's an individual, and you don't have any right to touch anyone or to behave in a derogatory form.
And that was a very unique, teachable moment right there.
Yes.
You just taught, a young kid that, the reality of what life has been for females for a long time.
That's what I thought I was doing, but he was almost telling me that I was excusing her behavior or giving her a pass, which it shouldn't be, because there shouldn't be a double standard.
No, but by doing so, I think you taught him.
I'm glad. I feel like I do. Yeah, exactly.
You taught him what it felt like. You saying? You opened his eyes to what.
Yeah.
You've seen and you've gone through. Probably most of your life.
Yeah. But it didn't justify the behavior.
No, not at all.
Towards the artist.
Right. But and I know that you can't speak, Ronnie, for the male population, but you have a lot of friends, and you're in the world and all that. In your guys' discussions or whatever, I'm certain that maybe you've been in a group where maybe somebody has done a cat call that has been less than appropriate. Because one thing is saying, mi amor, tú eres linda, or whatever, but the other thing is right. And so, right, where in the brain does it say it's okay for me to say this that is so derogatory?
Well,
I don't know, is that a fair question?
No, it definitely is. I think it's first and foremost maturity, because nowadays, especially being a dad to a female, a little girl that's.
Oh yes.
Wow.
We should
now
expound on that.
I don't think I can say half the stuff that used to come out of my mouth in my 20s. Like I wouldn't be able to like I can't look at a female and say stuff that I would easily say in my 20s.
Can you give us like one of your genuine lines? Like just
Yeah.
something that you like.
I was never that catcall kind of dude, but I mean, the guys I used to hang out with,
La
like,
labia de Ronnie.
the shit that you used to hear in Washington Heights coming on the street.
I know,
I've
it's
heard-
crazy.
I've
I have to
What
tell
is-
you,
what is one that like
I'm not
One that's
justifying
always
one that
stuck
sticks with
no,
you.
one that's always stuck with me. I was walking down the street and there was some random dude on the street and some girl was walking next to me and she was fine as hell. Yes, she was. I agree. Well, homeboy was like, yo, te como con todo y ropa a que por un mes cague trapo. I was like,
oh my
Okay, so let me try to
god.
translate that.
when I tell you the entire street went down, like everybody was just fucking
Wait, I
dying.
have to try to translate that.
Wow.
I will eat you whole with clothes and all, even if I shit clothes for a month.
Yes.
Or shit fabric.
Shit fabric for a month.
Yo, that shit has always been. I was like, well, I don't think
I
I've
have
ever
to
heard
tell
that.
you, and I am in no
Did
way
you laugh?
justifying, but the ingenuity behind
Somebody
it,
had to.
you have to
I
give it
think
to them. The things they come up with,
No, yeah.
you have to give it to them.
Well,
I think she had to laugh.
No, I
right?
think she laughed
I think
because
it
of
was
everybody's
meant to be
reaction. Because it was,
funny.
you know, it was on the street, it was in public. He said it super loud, so everybody heard it. And then like everybody started laughing, so she didn't have a choice but to
Yeah.
laugh. But I'm sure if there were, you know, if it was just her and him, like walking on the
It
street
was
somewhere,
That would have been
she would have been like, I'm running, like I'm getting the fuck
What are
away
you
from
telling me?
But the thing
This
is,
guy's
people in
fucking.
public, they won't do it face to face. They do it as you're walking by because you're
Right,
walking
because
by.
they want that's the
Yeah,
attention they want to get. But I have one guy. One time I was walking down the
One
street
time.
and I see him.
One time, right.
And one time that I remember it was actually, and when he said it, when he did it, I was just like, but I had to laugh. Same situation. So as I'm walking, I see him taking off his shirt. He's taking off his belt. He takes off his shoes. He goes in his pockets. He starts throwing the money, the keys, and he goes, "Ya cógelo todo, coño, cógelo todo." And I was just like, what? And I had to start laughing. And I'm like, he's like, no, ya cógelo todo, cógelo todo. And I was just like, okay. I was like, all right. So it was funny. And you
This is, this is the effect you have on guys.
That was creative.
But it was funny because he was creative about it, and you know, so some of them are a little funny, but then there's some of them that
So
cross
how long
that
did you guys
line.
date?
You know, but some of them.
No, wait, I had some guy on Facebook one time. I posted a picture of, and it was a coworker actually. I posted a picture of me, like a throwback or something, and he commented publicly, "I would have drank your bath water."
Oh,
No, thank you.
I think that would be like, shower, please. I need to drink water.
so nothing personal.
Take a
about it,
shower.
but-
I'm thirsty,
That's
bro.
like to the
Take a
equivalent of,
shower.
I'll wear your
I need to
skin.
drink that water.
Oh, ew.
Wear your skin.
So it's
Why
like,
can't they just
I'm
say what
too-
they?
I'm too-
Why can't you just say what you're trying to say?
I'm processing this wrong right here because
imagine being a woman having to deal
if I'm
deal
drinking
with
somebody's
this.
bath
It's a little
water
tough.
and never mind.
So wait,
So
no.
then,
So
yeah.
here's the thing. It's like, so sometimes it's humorous, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's disgusting and offensive.
Very offensive.
Also, as females, you know, we sometimes are in the mood to, you know, whatever, dismiss it, and other times we're like, "Fuck you."
Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up.
You know, so
I've smacked people in the train and I've hit people before.
Yeah.
But you guys got on
That's
me.
a little excessive.
No, it's not excessive. If you're gonna touch me and it's unwarranted,
Oh,
and you're
that's
still reaching on the
different.
train,
That's
I'm gonna punch you in your fucking face.
That's different.
No, that's different.
And I have.
Okay.
That's